Hey, what's up guys, Master here, come back with a brand new video for you guys. It's been a very interesting past week inside of the market, specifically cases where it's exactly where we're going to start off. Now, if you haven't been living under a rock, you've probably noticed that cases have decreased a significant amount. It was something I was debating, making a whole video about, just because a lot of people were coming to me very concerned about what was happening in this area. And we're going to be talking a little bit more after a quick word from today's sponsor. The sponsor for today's video is SkinsMonkey. Now, SkinsMonkey is the quickest, easiest, and most importantly, safest way to go ahead and trade your CSGO skins. Now, SkinsMonkey is super easy to use. You just have to take your item, take the item you want, and just go ahead, apply code MasterShiny to get your free $5 if it's your first trade, and just click trade. And if you've got no money to spend right now, they've got two ways for you to get some. First is just heading over and topping up. Make sure to use code MasterShiny for a free 5% there, and they've also got the freebies section where you can go ahead and enter free raffles that happen every single day. And as always, thank you so much, SkinsMonkey. Make sure you use in the top link in the description to claim your free $5 today. Now, when we look at the graphs of these cases that are affected, you're going to notice a very similar trend, and that's the fact that there's a lot of quantity being moved when we see this decrease in price. This is very important because this leads us to our biggest conclusion of all, and that's the fact that someone was selling a pretty significant amount of cases at one moment, i.e. someone who had a lot of cases, was in the market, a whale as you might refer to them, was going ahead and selling off a ton of cases at that specific point. What that did is they were eating into the buy order prices, which means that the case price is going to go down. They're just moving so much in quantity that the market cannot keep up at that current pace. Now, why is this important? This is important because the CSGO market does not move like a normal market. The CSGO market is very susceptible to FOMO, and that's exactly what propelled this to become much larger than it initially was. This is why we see these dips in every single one of them that didn't just instantly rebound back up to the price it was beforehand, because people got extremely nervous. People felt like they were missing out on some crucial piece of information that was helping these other people make a correct decision to sell. It just doesn't work like that in most markets, but in the CSGO market, where you have a lot of retail investors and people who don't have a ton of extensive knowledge in the area of investing, it's a very susceptible thing, and a lot of people get caught up in it. To go along with that, if we want to look at the amount on the market that's listed, the only way you can use this is to give a rough outline of what the general consensus is if we're buying or selling as a whole market, and it seems like the listings are starting to go up a slight bit. Now, be very careful with this. I made a video about how there was over 1 million danger zone cases that were instantly gone overnight. It's something that happens very quickly, and it's not a great indicator for really anything other than just how the general market is looking at one thing or another. Don't use it as a total supply or anything like that. This is important because we can see, at least in this case, a lot of people are still looking to sell off in some of these cheaper cases, which is not too unexpected. Whenever there's a little bit of a turbulence in the market, we do generally see much more listings come to light, just because people are either trying to liquidate off some of their items in order to have cash, or B, they're just a little bit scared about the market moving forward. They want to go ahead and lock in some of that secured profit. Both of those are quite reasonable, which is why we see this continual cycle over and over and over again. It's because it's reasonable to see, and it's something that we expect to see, at least at this point, that once we see a price decrease, it's not going to immediately just shoot back up. But there's another reason why cases were decreasing in price, and that's because they have been in a very interesting position. And that's because even though cases have had an extraordinarily strong past couple of months with unboxing numbers, they're still being pushed up a significant amount by investor demand rather than the natural demand for these specific items. You can see, looking at any case graph, how the price has pretty much doubled if you're looking at some of the cheaper ones, and that's because people have been picking up a lot of these in order for them to profit once Counter-Strike 2 comes out, or just hold on to them for the future. However, in this specific circumstance, we're seeing a lot of these people become very nervous by what's been going on in the market, hence leading them to potentially sell off in this specific situation. A lot of people are really unable to go ahead and invest into CSGO in any investment because they want to see instant guaranteed profit, and at the slightest sign of potentially a little resistance or hesitance in the market like we're seeing right now, they go ahead and sell off because they're just too nervous to continue. And that's what happens when you're not fully understanding of what you're investing into. It's why on this channel I preach going ahead and making your own investments and understanding why you're investing into these items. If you have a strong reason for investing into items, it's very easy to go ahead and say, yeah, the price is down a little bit, but I'm still confident. Whereas if you're not too knowledgeable and you just invested into something because someone told you to, you're probably going to end up in this situation where you're selling now that that the market's down potentially 20% in some areas for some specific cases, plus you got another 13-15% sales tax on top of it, you're going to be losing a lot of money. The next thing I want to go over is the potential future for a lot of these cases. Now, we've seen obviously the price is down for a decent amount of these. I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing. I've mentioned it just a minute ago that a correction is very good for a healthy market. Things cannot consistently just keep on increasing, and if you zoom out just a little bit on any graph, you can see we're still up a ton of money overall. Every item is still up a ton in percentage, and therefore it's not unreasonable to see a small pullback like this. I mean, we've lost a week's worth of growth, which is very, very good. If we want to relate it to the overall market, sometimes you're losing months worth of growth when we see a downfall. This is only a week, at least at this point. The fact that we're seeing these cases so ready to go back up in price shows just how many people are sitting on the sidelines waiting to invest in. The future for all of these cases is still impeccably strong, and that's because we're seeing so many people on the sideline. People are very confident in the case area because we know what's been going on, especially for these rare cases. We know that the supply of these is only going to dwindle. They're only 1% of the drop pool, and there's about 30 cases that make up that 1%. Therefore, these cases are going to be unboxed significantly more than they're being dropped, and therefore they have a very strong potential to keep on increasing in price, especially if we do see those unboxing numbers sustained year over year. So what does that mean for you specifically? Well, there's a couple different things. One, if you've got cases in right now that you've got, I honestly wouldn't suggest selling unless you desperately need the money for Paris or another investment. Keep in mind, Paris is going to be 3 months long, but basically I don't think there's going to be a really good reason to sell, at least at this point, and it doesn't make sense to go ahead and sell off the item now that you were confident in 3 days ago. Nothing has fundamentally changed, and all that's happened in that time span of the past 3 days is we've just seen the amount of these cases totally available in the market go up a little bit in the amount for sale. Nothing has fundamentally changed, and you need to be consistent when you're investing, because when you're investing with emotion, you're going to make these poor decisions. Like we've seen so many people in the market that are trying to FOMO sell off. They're making emotionally based decisions, probably because they didn't have a great reason that they were investing into the first place. In my opinion, I think you should hold on to cases if you currently got them. If you're looking to buy cases, this could potentially be a very good time for you to get into them. Obviously, I don't have any insider information to give you, but this is probably going to be one of the better opportunities we're going to see if you're trying to buy in. I think there's a lot of great cases that are currently down a decent percentage, but there's a lot of cases that are currently in a good position, some of which I mentioned in this video. If you want to check it out, I still stand by that statement, and I think overall they've got a very strong future, which I've consistently been mentioning. These are a very solid and safe investment. Cases are pretty much the most safe investment as of this point, just because we know the trend that they're going to follow. I think the future of this area is impeccably strong, which I've mentioned time and time again. But that's pretty much all I have for today. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day.